Wow, karibuni sana, karibuni sana. And I hope that wherever you are, the grace of God has been sufficient. Hamjambo sana. My names are Jennifer Njeri Njoroge, and I am happy to be in this platform to share my own personal journey as I walk with you, my friends and my subscribers. Nataka kuwashukuru sana. If you are a returning subscriber, I want to say thank you. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. Also leave a comment and kindly share my video so that we can be able to eneza this broadcast. Karibuni sana here from Saudi Arabia. Ninawashukuru sana for joining me. Now, as I said in my last video, I want to talk about relationships. And I start this, I want to give credit to my personal therapist, Dr. Sherry, and my friend Mo for helping me to come up with a good introduction to these episodes and more episodes that are coming forth so that we can be able to relate ourselves with the past relationship. And I want to say this. As you were growing up, the family, the relationships that surrounded you really impact the way you make your decisions today. Did you know that? So ile environment yenye unagrowia, mostly they affect the way you make your own decisions. Okay. Now, it comes to our attention that there is kind of attachment. There is this one we called secure attachment. And watu wenye waligrowia around a family that was loving, caring, and there was no fight between the parents. And even if the parent would fight, they would fight behind closed doors. These are people who are very straightforward and they know what they want in terms of relationships. As in, they can be able to say no, and they can be able to say right, yes, and they can be able to stay pause and go away. There is another attachment. We call it anxious attachment. These are people who grew up around families and even friends and relatives, and the setup was not good. The family would fight. The family, there was no love, there was no caring, there was no togetherness. And imagine if a person picks up that and the brain of that person inaanza kukua developed in a place where there is no love, where there is no care. Imagine what kind of a fruit would that person bear in his life or in her life. And so many of us have been affected by these kind of setups that we grow in one way or another. It is called anxious attachment. And there is another cluster of people, we call it avoidant attachments. Hawa ni watu wenye wali got hurt in their childhood and they saw their mother got abused, they saw their father got abused, and they even went through rape, or even in their adulthood as they were making decisions to enter into the relationship, waliingia into the wrong relationship and they got hurt. And they made and purposed not to again kuingia kwa relationship. They completely avoid. And people, there is this confusion that is going on, and because you are hurt by your father and your mother, you are now entering into a rainbow relationship. The rainbow is lesbianism. I want to say it slowly. And they forget that this is also a relationship. And in one way or another, without their knowledge, they will end up also hurting the partners when you wameingia kwa relationship with. So if you are hurt by your past yako inakuhaunt up to date, umemake decision ya kusema I don't want to be in a relationship ever again, you have an attachment we call avoidant attachment. And this inaniruhusu na inani inform as me as Jennifer what kind of attachment nilifall into. And I will say this loud and clear, I got attached in an anxious relationship. I never I grew up in an environment of old people, my grandfather and my grandmother, so you can imagine. And also the relationship that surrounded me, the uncles and the aunties were not that reliable to form me and to mold me. So I kind of relate to this anxious kind of attachment. And so because of this, decisions making zangu zimekuwa very suspicious. And most of the time what happened in my life is that nilijipata nikiingia kwa relationships when I was very young, bado sikuwa nimemature. And the statistics said that it's very important for a person as an individual uingie kwa relationship above 25 years old, because at this age brains zako zimedevelop and you can be able to make sound mind decisions. Now, me as Jennifer, nilijipata nikiingia kwa relationship at a very young age. Ukiingia kwa relationship at this age, unaanzanga kuindulge in adulthood actions, sex. You also indulge in alcohol, in drugs, and many cases watu wengine wanapoteleanga hapo in the process of those relationships. And so in my childhood, I got into a relationship very early. Kwa sababu sikuwa na mentorship, I didn't have mentorship. Diare na modo wa kunuga. I did have a person to correct me and show me the right way. And I tell you, I'm speaking about this topic, ninaongelelea kuhusu a person mwenye alilose wazazi at a very young age. So I didn't have mentorship. Na watu wenye walikuwa kwa life yangu, what mostly happened is walikuwa wanasema huyu. Nobody took the responsibility of mentoring me into becoming a woman. As I was cleaning and washing clothes for my cousin for survival, I got engaged into a relationship with a guy na alikuwa campus. And I was in Form 1. And you can imagine what this does to you. This guy is exposed to alcohol. He was exposed to alcohol. He wanted sex. He wanted all sort of things. And because I want to be loved, I come from a place where sijajua upendo ni kusema nini. And this guy amekuja akiwa amejipackage na that kind of a love. So I wanted to be attached to him. And so I got into the relationship. We loved each other, if that is what we call love. We loved each other. And I started indulging myself in sex at a very young stage. And even if nilikuwa from a Christian background, okay, I would also take alcohol in the process at that young age. I don't feel bad of my actions. That's why I come out openly and talk about them. To this case and to this scenario, if I had a mentorship, if I had a person who would work with me, I'm sure I could have waited even when I am 18 or a little bit older so that niingie kwa actions za sex. Unajipatanga in most cases where even mzazi ana correct the daughter or the son, they are correcting them while they are pushing them away. But the word of God says, mchapa, discipline with one hand and another hand bringing that person closer. As a teenager, what you do, you relate, unatakanga kujirelate na mahali unasikia, unapendwa. So at this stage, niliingia kwa a relationship at a very young age. The campus guy was exposed to all sort of things. And so it came with a lot of heartbreaks. Heartbreaks zilikuwa right, left and center. And he would break my heart, and because he knew I loved him, he would also come back, sneak back, vitu zinge happen. And it is very important ukiona a teenager akiingilia into this relationship. It is very important, hata kama mtoto si wako, take the responsibility of guiding that child. Take it upon yourself to guide that person and to give some words of wisdom and guidance. It's a serious topic though. But as we started from mapema, as I was hurt in the process, I also made a decision not to give up on love, because I love the family structure. I love a structure where there is a father, mother, and kids. So I never gave up on love. Hata kama nilihatiwa so many times, I still continued to look for love. And in most cases, unaendeleanga until you have so many body counts looking for that one particular person. And you may not even find that particular person until you are old and of age. And I'm talking about this from a victor's point, that right now I cannot make decisions the relationship based on my past. I make based on whom I am right now, because I have overcame. And the reason why I overcame is because I surrendered all to God. I told God I could not have changed the family yenye nilizaliwa from. The decisions, when you make decisions at that time, I could not have changed anything. But now, Lord, I surrender to you. I give it all to you, that, Lord, you may change me and make me a woman and somebody's wife that, Lord, you purpose. I surrendered all to God. I give it all to God. And another thing yenye imenisaidia is that I have a therapist that I'm working with, so that I can be able to know wapi mistakes zangu zilikujia, what did I do wrong, or what did I do right. As we end today's episode, we will also get into these things of relationship next time. I got into an abusive relationship. It was very dramatic. And I would also want to continue talking the lessons that I have learned in more and more episodes to come. If you like this and more, please subscribe, watch, share, and like all my videos. Na najua tutabarikiwa sote. Here from Kisa, mbarikiwe sana. Masalama, masalama.